Welcome to Between Rounds, where the spotlight shines on martial artists who are making waves both in the arena and in their communities. Today, we're gearing up for an unforgettable episode with a martial artist who's not only a dynamo in sport karate, having secured multiple WKC World Championships, aka Warrior Cups, diamond rings, and even coveted titles from one of the world's premier events, the Ocean State Grand Nationals Karate Championships. We're talking about Richard Avery Plowden, who hails from a family that's nothing short of martial arts royalty. He's made a name for himself, proving that some champions do more than just win in the ring, they make a difference in the world. Stay tuned as we dive into the life of Richard Avery Plowden, a man who not only talks the talk, but walks the walk, in a way that even the Detroit Lions might want to take notes on. Hi everybody, this is Mike Petrarca, and welcome to Between Rounds, where we talk to amazing martial artists from around the globe doing phenomenal things both on and off the mat. And my guest today is one of the best and most feared point fighters around, and has multiple WKC World Championships, ISKA US Open World Championships, aka Warrior Cups, and a diamond ring from the Diamond Nationals. And when he's not kicking ass and taking names, he's helping the community as a prominent lawyer in the Detroit area. From the legendary Plowden Karate family and their championship martial arts school, let me introduce you to a competitor that always closes the show, unlike the Detroit Lions. Talking about Richard Avery Plowden.
Oh,
Avery.
man, Mike, you hurt me with that one, but that was great. You've done your research. Mike, thank you for having me, sir. Thank you very much.
No problem. Awesome. Hey, let me just preface that by saying, all right, like, I love the Lions, man. I was voting for the Lions.
Yeah,
Probably when I was younger, I never saw Jim Brown play in person or anything like that.
Right.
But Barry Sanders was top of the line, man.
Phenomenal running back.
Right.
Phenomenal.
Barry is one of those guys where at the first half, he could have 10 rushes for -8 yards, and then by the end of the game, have 20 rushes for 160 and 2 TDs.
Yep, he would have exploded for something. He was going to make it happen one way or the other.
Right?
Yes, sir.
So, Avery, thank you so much for being on the show. And now tell me, I mean, you come from a very prominent karate family, right? So tell me a little bit about the influence that your family's had on your karate career.
Yeah, I mean, I literally grew up in the karate school. My dad opened the school in the 80s. I was born in 93. So literally since I could walk, I was walking on the mats. My father, I have to give him his credit, never pressured me and my sister to even start martial arts, let alone to compete. Like we had to ask, can we do karate? I mean, it happened naturally. Like I was throwing kicks and punches as soon as I could walk. And then when I was 4 years old, I started martial arts, and I just haven't stopped for the last 26 years now. I've been training, and it's literally changed my life. Every success, every hardship that I've had in life, the martial arts has made that easier. It's made it possible. I can always go back to my training, to competitions, the lessons I've learned, and it's literally built me into the man that I am. And even when the day comes where I'll stop competing, I'll never stop training, ever.
Tell me, what are some of those things that you're referring to where martial arts helped you, just get through things in your own life?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just staying disciplined, right? Like even as far as from elementary school to middle school to high school. I had two amazing parents that also happened to be martial arts instructors, but having the discipline from martial arts, going to class every day, training hard, that made test easy. And then when I started college, anytime that I had any difficulty at the University of Michigan, because it was a very difficult school and I had to study hard, it wasn't as difficult as the black belt test. Wasn't as difficult as one of my father's training sessions. It wasn't as difficult as trying to go out there and win a Warrior Cup. It didn't make me as nervous as that. The martial arts builds a foundation that makes you overcome certain difficulties that 100% directly transfers over to life. Like I'll say that to anybody. You can If you go in a martial arts class that is a legitimate school and you have an instructor that is a true instructor, a sensei that is a true sensei, that
Mm,
pours him or herself into you and you
yes.
pour yourself back, it's the most rewarding experience in the world. And that is it's rewarded me in school and in law school in relationships. Even though
Mm-hmm.
I've lost relationships because of karate. I've had girls try to tell me, it's either me or karate.
Yeah.
I can remember I was 17 years old, my senior year of high school, and I was at a tournament in Washington,
Mm,
D.C., the Capitol Classics. And I had fought on Friday and had done pretty well. Like I was
yeah.
fighting on Team Victory at the time, and I had done well. And my girlfriend at the time called me and was like, "Hey, like I'm like this should be a weekend that we're hanging out." And I'm like, "It's late. I have to sleep. I have to fight tomorrow. I'm at a tournament." And she's like,
Yeah.
"You need to pick me or karate." And I said, "It's karate." And I hung up. And my dad was pissed. Like I was
Really?
17, but I was
Your
fighting in
dad
his
was
division.
and the competitor himself, but he was upset at you.
Yes. He's like, dude, come sleep. Like you have to fight tomorrow. He knows what that's about. And I didn't tell him for months that this
Yeah.
happened. And I
Yeah.
went out there and I got first place in my division and won the middleweight grand. And it was because I could focus the discipline, the self-control, the self-esteem that karate brought me, not to pick a girl
Mm,
over,
mm.
something I love. It's directly from martial arts.
And now I read an interview. I think that you did. I think it was 2022 about
Okay.
how your dad wanted you to play tennis or track
Yeah.
instead. Now tennis is my jam. I was D1 recruit and stuff. I teach
Oh,
now.
nice.
Yeah. So I pretty accomplished in tennis and all that. So I
Yeah.
read that and I was incredibly interested. Now, do you indulge in any other particular passions, sports or otherwise, or is it 24/7 karate?
Man, great question. So growing up, he tried to put me in a bunch of sports. That's true. Baseball, tennis,
Mm,
football. I didn't have any talent for it. I mean, to be honest, I didn't have much talent for martial arts either. I
yeah.
just stuck with it and just became obsessed with it. It took a lot of hard work. But no, my main hobby between my job, which is very demanding, and still believing I can be the best in the world at tournament fighting, it
Yep.
takes up a lot of my time. Those
Yeah.
two things. I have some hobbies. Um, I like to read a lot. I like to write a lot, but most of my
Hmm.
time it's work, it's karate, and then my girlfriend gets the rest of my free time.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. She's accepted your lifestyle now.
Oh yeah. This one knows. She completely understands. I'm like, baby, I got a term. She's like, oh, okay, just call me. We're 4 years in,
Oh
and
wow.
she didn't know at first
Yeah.
because outside of karate, I'm just a regular guy. Like we live in a very niche world,
Right. Right.
or niche activity. When I go out in the world, like I have my friends, but they know nothing about karate. And when she goes to a tournament, she's like, oh, so this is what it means that you're like a Plowden. I'm like, yes, this
Right.
was
Right. This is
something
what.
in this. And she lets me have it.
Now, when I also read too that when you competed first at the national level, it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't a seamless transition to the top, and
No.
and and you had some struggles. Uh,
Yes.
how did you keep a resilient mindset to continue in spite of those struggles, training and competing?
Excellent question, Mike. And to be honest, it was really hard. It was very, very difficult. I had you mentioned it. My father's a legend. He would hate me to call him that. He would hate it, but he is. He was a phenomenal point fighter in his own right, on some of the best martial arts teams ever. He's a pioneer, and that was a huge, huge amount of pressure. None of
Yeah.
which he put on me, but I knew. I saw him. My dad was my hero. I didn't look up to Jordan. I didn't look up to Brady. I looked up to Richard Plowden and the people in Plowden's martial
Mhm.
arts. And it was very hard going out there and not winning initially.
Mhm.
Also, because my sister was out there and she was winning early in her career. My sister is the best female point fighter of all time.
Yep.
And even early on, she was winning. And it was super, super difficult to sit there and not be able to win at the same level as her, to,
Mhm.
in my opinion, not live up to my dad's legacy. And honestly, in undergrad, that's part of the reason why I drifted towards my fraternity and going out and hanging out with girls. I wasn't
Mhm.
training as much as I should have in undergrad and college
Right.
But my first love was always there. Tournament karate, it was always in the back of my mind. I'm very competitive. That's why I'm
Mm.
still out here now. I want to be I always wanted to be the best in the world.
Yep.
That was it.
Yep.
And that was my main drive. And it was like, okay, it was never gonna come easy. Like that, nothing in your life is coming easy. In school, I had to study. I had
Right.
to study to get to where I'm at with my job, with to get into Michigan. Like nothing's ever come easy. So I was like, hey, if you want to do this, you have to buckle down and work hard. You can't just be out there trying to rely on your talent, on your skills, because my dad always says hustle beats talent when talent doesn't hustle.
Yeah.
And when I
So true.
committed myself to this grind for real, as I said before, when I poured myself into the martial arts, it gave back to me tenfold. I never thought I would have 2 diamond rings. I
Yeah.
never thought I would have 4 Warrior Cups. I never thought I would have won the U.S. Open 4 times. However many WKC World Championships I had. My first 3 WKC World Championships, my first 2 I didn't win a fight. My
Wow.
first 3 I did not win a gold. It wasn't until I was 21, my 21st birthday was 4 days before I won my first World Championship.
Wow.
I was on the plane going to Ireland.
Yeah.
And that's why I tell my students, I tell kids all the time, don't give up, man. It's not about the people that have the immediate success. It's the people that keep going.
Right. Right. The perseverance. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And tell me, how much, I know you talked about your dad and how much you look up to him. How much did it mean to you when you won your 3rd Warrior Cup, passing your dad?
Oh man, it meant a lot. I won and I turned around and I went like this. I told him that's 3. I said, I caught you.
Yeah.
I beat you. When I got my second one, I said, I'm your son. I have 2 like you.
Okay.
That's what I said. And then my third one, I remember I turned around and I said, I caught you. I caught you. I beat you with that one. Yeah, it meant a lot.
Gee, was he smiling or was he ready to
Oh,
get
he
back
was
in
teasing,
there
man.
and then get
No,
go,
he was.
say, let's go, son?
He has no sort of. He has nothing but pride for the ways in which my sister and I have surpassed him. We don't think we ever will, because not only did he win, but he's trained so many champions.
Yeah.
He made us. My sister and I mostly teach at the school now, but we defer to him 100%. And that's because he does it. He's so proud of us, man. He's just so proud. So he was just teasing. He wants nothing more than for us to keep going.
It's amazing. That's amazing. As it should be, right?
Yeah. That's what I want for my students. I just told them that on Monday. I don't want to be the best that my dad produced. I don't want to be the best from our system. I want that to be after me and after that person and after that person. I want to build a dynasty, man. Whatever that means in sport karate. That's what I want all those championship martial arts to be.
Well, look, I was so excited to have you on. Not only because you're an awesome, accomplished guest, but I had to ask you about this specific question because
when
I was commentating at the Ocean State Grand Nationals the first time with Jackson Rudolph, I think this year will probably be the 3rd year in a row. So it's going to be, I think, 001 that I was there, and I saw Morgan fight. And I saw you fight as well. And I said to myself, I think I mentioned this on the broadcast. I said, Morgan, there's the fight IQ. There's this amazing fight IQ where, I saw you both fight. I think it was specifically Morgan at the time that I was really intrigued by it at that time. But I see that there's no wasted movement. There's no excessive bouncing around. There's this calm, calculated tranquility before you strike with precision. And
yes, sir.
I wanted to ask you, is that something that's trained or is that just innate with your family?
Man, great. Man, you have some great questions. Wow, I don't think I've been asked that one before. People have talked about it.
Thank you.
But I don't know if it's ever been asked if it's trained. So my answer is 2-pronged.
Okay.
As far as the intelligence, what we always say in the Plowden system is it doesn't matter if you're the fastest, doesn't matter if you're the strongest. What matters is if you're the smartest. Because there are some phenomenal martial artists that can throw thousands of kicks, that can throw flips, get out there in a tournament fight and can't score a point. Right? It's about knowing and understanding the game. And that particular aspect is trained in us. My dad makes sure we know certain rules, certain things. It's about being the smartest. Don't do anything stupid. Don't spin for no reason. Don't blitz from too far away. There's certain things that we are trained. But then as far as just being in there and being comfortable, it's just home, man. It is seriously no time where I'm happier than when I'm sparring. Like Fridays, we call it therapy because we spar on Friday, 7:30 every Friday in Detroit, Michigan. That's when we're sparring, and that hour is tranquility for me. And that transfers over to tournaments, I think, even though it's competition. And I get nervous. I get horrible butterflies, horribly nervous. My sister does too. But when you're in that ring, even though it's just a tournament fight, whatever, we're not going full contact, it's still you against another human being. And there's beauty in that. And you're seeing who's better that day. And I love competition. I love sparring. And it's not intentional that we're calm. I promise you it's not. It's not something we're actively thinking about. I just think it's home for us. Like it's home for me. I enjoy it. I don't like tournaments and waiting to fight because I get so nervous. But when that judge says go, those 2 minutes, I feel like a superhero, man. It's the happiest time of my life.
The main event of the evening. We've seen them in the semifinal rounds. Avery Plowden advanced, Enrique Latona advanced, and now they will clash for the largest amount of prize money offered at this event.
Why is that? Why do you think he's just not throwing him, or not? Is he not able to get him in?
It's hard to say. I think that he knows that Plowden has great kick defense, and so he might be trying to throw Plowden off because Plowden probably expected him to kick a lot, and so he might be trying to rely on his blitz to catch Plowden off guard and not have to deal with Plowden's kick defense. Because here's the thing, if Plowden was to jam one of Latona's kick attempts, he's going to blast him with a reverse punch, and that is not going to feel good. So Latona's taking that into account as he's kind of planning his strategy for this match. But we got 11 seconds left at this point, and Plowden scores again.
Come on!
And Plowden stops the run.
Plowden's
5 seconds remaining.
Is so good. And that looks like that's it.
Plowden executed that fight beautifully. He knew what to do every step of the way. You wouldn't expect anything less from the best heavyweight, the highest ranked heavyweight in the world right now. Avery Plowden is your Super Fights champion, the highest honor.
And tell me about the work that you do at Plowden Championship Martial Arts.
Yeah, so we man, again, we've had I don't want to say the wrong year because my dad would kill me. Like either 86 or 87 he opened.
Wow.
So we had this yeah, he's been teaching for a while. Oh, it's a year after they got married. They got married in 87, so 88, excuse me.
88, wow.
So 88 is when we opened. Detroit, Michigan on 7 Mile. We've had a few locations. We're currently in a suburb of Detroit called Southfield, but we have a building, and it's great. And my sister's the main instructor. She has a full-time job. She has a master's, but she told Dad she wants to teach. And she's a main instructor. She works with our kids. She's a head instructor. She teaches with my mother quite a bit. My mother is her main support. And then I help work with our black belts. Me and my sister both run that class, and I love it. I love it so much. I think our youngest in the black belt class is 9, and our oldest is like 65, and all competing and all pushing ourselves, and it is great. And it is, and what I love about it most right now is I have a bunch of college kids, and which is crazy to me because as I said in college, I was having fun, man. I was partying. I was
same
girls.
Hey, no judgment. Same.
Yeah. But I have these, and there's young ladies. I have these 3 young ladies that travel from, one is at the University of Michigan's campus, one is at Michigan State's campus, and they travel down on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. They travel down on Friday nights to come hang out and spar with me. And that is the most rewarding part of it right now. Like they're fully immersed. I used to do 20, 25 tournaments a year. I'm not doing as much. But these kids drag me out, and they're the main reason I'm still going. And trying to get them to the levels and the heights that I've reached gets me going. I love mentoring them. They're awesome, smart, poised young ladies and young men. And I get more emotional watching them fight. And don't get me wrong, I'm still into it. I just lost the Warrior Cup a few weeks ago.
I saw you. I saw that fight with you and Bailey Murphy, right?
Yeah, great fight.
Great fight.
Fighting Bailey.
Amazing fight.
Yeah, but these kids, they they've renewed a vigor in me that I'm appreciative of, because I still got some kick in me. And I'm still ready, and riding with them and teaching them and mentoring them, and not just in martial arts, but in life. I love it, man. I really do.
That's good. And then the passion. I can tell that the fire still
Yes.
burns. The passion.
Oh yeah.
is still there.
Oh, bad. Me and yeah. I beat Bailey for the World Cup last year. He beat me this year, and I wake up thinking about it. So yeah, I'm that, that fire.
Okay.
That,
Yeah,
that
the fire
still in
hasn't
me.
died yet.
No, not close.
So I guess along those lines, most challenging opponent you've ever fought?
Ross Levine.
Ross Levine. Okay, that makes a lot of sense considering where Ross Levine is now. A lot of sense.
Yeah. He
and where he has been, but where he is now too.
Right. Yeah. Ross. We were teammates. We are teammates. Excuse me. We'll never stop being teammates. That is I literally consider him my brother. I love Ross to death. But that is smartest dude I've ever fought. And again, I think it's mostly a mental game. I really do. But Ross Levine.
No hesitation.
Binge tension. But I just fought Ross more. So
fair enough. And speaking of kicking, tell me about, does your dad still do work with the kids kicking cancer?
Yes. Yes, that is his
that.
baby.
I always love to hear what people doing off the mat too, and all the good work that you're doing with that.
Yeah, so my father works for an organization called Kids Kicking Cancer. It's a nonprofit that uses the martial arts to help kids that have cancer and other chronic illnesses. And he's literally doing God's work. That dude, man, I think he's been doing it since I was a kid, at least like 15 years now, maybe. Maybe a little less, give or take a few years, but it's draining. It's tiring, but he loves it, man. He's like that kind of stuff. Like, again, the competition part, it's the medium that we use to test our skills. But the martial arts are so much bigger than that. And what he's doing with the martial arts is some of the most beautiful stuff I've ever seen. It's awesome. It really is.
That's really cool, because I read that. I said I got to ask you about that, because that really is doing great work, for sure.
Yeah.
And tell me now I know you're a lawyer, right, in the Detroit area.
Yeah.
What's tougher, in the legal forum or on the mat, or they both have the challenges?
No. The job is way harder. The job, and I love my job. I really do like my career. It's challenging. It keeps me busy. I'm never bored. But my job is hard. If I could, but I like money. I do. I can admit that about myself.
Well, look, I gotta say,
that's the secret I'll say.
If
I could make the money I'm making now doing karate, I do karate.
If I can throw this out there, I think you're actually the most well-dressed guest.
Oh, thank you.
I've seen my girlfriend was at when I pulled up the Facebook. I saw that jacket, and my girlfriend's she's like, you would buy that jacket. I said, yeah. I said, man, I don't know if I'd look as good, but
no, you look great, man.
I would buy it, man. I'd buy it.
Absolutely, thank you. I appreciate that.
And what's the next tournament you're gearing up for? What are you doing next?
Oh man, great question. So the next national, I have to, again, it's the work schedule. Either Ocean State, so I'll either see you at Coach's tournament, at Coach Rodriguez's tournament, love Coach.
Yes, sir.
Or the Quebec Open. So it's one of those. It depends on how busy my work schedule is.
Awesome. Yeah, I hope to see you at the Ocean Grand.
I love that event. I love Don.
Because it's a great tournament. Don's been doing it for a while, and that's a special tournament.
It is. When it's one of the, like, my family is just, karate and family is this for me. So when I won that the first time, I told my dad, I'm like, yeah, I got, we both won this tournament. That's so cool to me to win the same tournament as my dad, especially it being Coach Rodriguez's tournament, who was one of my dad's coaches, means a lot to me.
Wow, so there is that special connection there too.
Yes, they're since my dad adores Don Rodriguez, and what a lot of people don't realize, it's always recency bias, right? So people see me now and see Avery Plowden now, and they're like, "Oh, that's Avery." Everybody knows Avery at karate tournaments. My dad did not have us do national events when we were kids. So when me and my sister came around, people didn't really know us or pay attention to us at all. Don Rodriguez did. Mr. Rodriguez, as soon as he met me, showed me nothing but love. So I will always love and go to bat for that man. Great man.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We're gonna have him on. I think for in a couple of weeks. So I'm really excited about that interview. As I tell people, growing up, around the area in Rhode Island, there was the Mount Rushmore for me when I was younger. There was Don Rodriguez, there was Nick Serio, and there was a man named George Pizzari who I studied with for a little while, and those were the top, around the area.
Legends, truly
legends. So I'm really excited about talking in depth with Coach Rodriguez. That'll be good.
Yes, sir.
Now, I also saw in another interview, because as you mentioned, man, when people come on the show, Avery, I do my research, but
this is fantastic. I'm very impressed.
So now I saw an interview. You and your sister are very superstitious people, right?
Yes.
I saw that. So I'm not going to ask you about any superstitions or anything. I'm not going to ask you to share with me anything, but have you already planned some things to do, what to do or what not to do, to ensure that the Lions do make it to the Super Bowl next year?
Oh, man, I haven't, but now I'm going. So you want to know what's funny? Oh, God, I'll tell you that Morgan doesn't say her superstitions. I don't mind saying mine.
Okay, fair.
But I wore the same shirt and these sunglasses that are very Cartier sunglasses. They're very popular in Detroit.
Yes.
So I wore the same shirt and the sunglasses every playoff game. Except this most recent one, I didn't wear the glasses. So next year I'm wearing that shirt and I'm wearing my Cartier sunglasses. Because I feel like it's my fault. So
I don't know. People from Detroit hear this. They're just not.
I know. I'm gonna have to limit how many times I share it.
Well, Avery, look, man, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for taking the time to come on my show, Between Rounds. And I hope we can say hi to each other at the Ocean State Grands.
Absolutely. If I'm there, I'll come and speak, Mike. Thank you very much.
Of course.
As we wrap up another thrilling episode of Between Rounds, it's clear that Richard Avery Plowden stands in a league of his own. Not just for his unparalleled achievements in sport karate, which alone are enough to inspire, but for his dedication to making a real difference off the mat. His story is a vivid reminder that the spirit of martial arts extends far beyond physical prowess. It's about impacting lives, fostering discipline, and creating a legacy that transcends the sport. Avery's journey from the dojo to the courtroom exemplifies the true essence of a martial artist, one who fights not just for titles, but for change. To our listeners, we hope today's conversation with Avery inspires you to pursue excellence in all areas of life just like he does. Until next time, keep fighting the good fight, both in and out of the ring. This has been Mike Petrarca, signing off from Between Rounds. And remember, the battle is never over, it just moves to a different arena.